Hey everybody, this is Bank, and I thought it would be fun, or rather interesting, to go back to the beginning of this saga. This whole saga with Shirley Strawberry, Ernesto Williams. Literally, let's go from day one, and that is something that I have been wanting to do for a while. Um, I just kind of want to look at it or listen to these calls from a new perspective. And that perspective is someone who has kind of followed it from the beginning. So I have listened to these calls from day one. And a shout out to Francois from Real Talk Bougie. I was in her live the day that she has speculated about getting these calls, and I didn't know who Shirley Strawberry was. Quite honestly, I did not know who she was. I had no reference point. Um, I did not watch. Um, excuse me, I did not listen to the Steve Harvey show at all. I didn't, and that is simply because in my market they didn't play Steve Harvey on the radio. So I had no clue who Shirley Strawberry was at all. I mean, like zero clue as to who she was. So this is all new to me, and the name Shirley Strawberry was new to me. Now, immediately when I heard the name Shirley Strawberry, I did think about Daryl Strawberry, and now we do know there is a connection to, excuse me, there is a connection to Shirley Strawberry and Daryl Strawberry. But at this point, I had no clue as to who Shirley Strawberry was. None, zilch, zero, nothing. Didn't know. Okay. Anyway, I thought I would just go back and start listening from day one and kind of give my reaction, or kind of just fill out how I am now seeing the content that I am now, or listening, or hearing rather, the content as I am hearing it now. And what are my observations? Is anything changed? And what kind of new things that may, kind of prick my ear based off of, not having watched this before. So bear with me. This is kind of like my first rodeo here. So I'm just kind of filling out the software, working with StreamYard, and getting comfortable with actually, doing these live streams. And I said, well, why not do it tonight? I mean, why not? I mean, uh, not a lot of people are up, and if I embarrass myself, not a lot of people are going to witness it. But hopefully, I don't do anything like that. I don't like embarrass myself or anything like that. But so let me go ahead and get started, because let's see, let's go ahead and press play.
Today's video has a big update about Shirley Strawberry and her husband, Ernest Williams, aka Ernesto, aka Nesto. Buckle up, I've got the jailhouse phone calls going all the way back to March of this year, and it looks like there might be trouble in paradise between Shirley and her husband. Stay tuned, the calls between Shirley and Ernesto are in this video. For those of you who might not know who Shirley is, well, you might know Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a versatile entertainer, comedian, actor, author, and prominent figure in both television and radio. He initially rose to prominence through his sharp observational comedy and later became renowned for his insightful self help guidance, particularly in the realm of relationships. You may know him from The Family Feud or The Steve Harvey Morning Show. Shirley Strawberry has been in the broadcast biz for almost 40 years herself and is currently a co host on The Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her and Steve have worked together for the last 20 years, and on the show, they have a segment called The Strawberry Letter, where viewers write in for relationship advice from Steve and Shirley. Shirley supposedly met her current husband through Steve Harvey. They got engaged on the show with Steve's help, and Steve even walked Shirley down the aisle. Ernesto is Shirley's second husband. Here's the situation. Shirley Strawberry's husband, Ernesto.
Okay, I'm just going to pause here, because at the time that this was released, that was true. Everybody had assumed and was under the impression that Steve had introduced Shirley and Ernesto. Now we know that that's not the case. We now know that it's a lot more complicated than that, and that apparently Ernesto, or Nesto, as we now call him, Nasty Nesto, he was dating Ebony Steele, who is also in radio, and she worked alongside of Ricky Smiley. She worked on the Ricky Smiley show. But if you know anything about black radio, it's a very small circle. So Ebony and Shirley knew each other, and they share the same hairdresser. And if I understand it correctly, I do believe that they were actually introduced by their hairdresser. They shared a hairdresser, and that hairdresser name is Panay. So Steve did not introduce them, like Shay is saying in this video, but at the time we didn't have any other information, so we did not have a lot of information. But now we know different.
Nesto Williams is facing some pretty serious charges, some of which include children. As you can see, this guy has a pretty long rap sheet. He and a co conspirator, Erica King, were arrested for $1 million fraud scheme. They allegedly would make promises to victims, saying they would grow their brands, but in the end did nothing. Rumor has it that Ernesto even moved Erica King in next door to him in Shirley's residence. He supposedly told Shirley that Erica was just a business partner. What inevitably got them investigated by police was failure to pay months of rent at this new residence. His most current arrest happened in July of 2022 for charges that involve children, and he is currently in jail in Georgia and has been there for over a year without bond. Before he was arrested, the prosecutor in this case also tapped Ernesto's cell phone and allegedly heard him talking with Shirley about leaving the country to live in one of Steve Harvey's homes located in Abu Dhabi. Ernesto is a businessman who owned an upscale barber shop and a security company in Atlanta. The barber shop was on Peachtree Road and was called Nesto's. According to Yelp reviewers, services started in 2021 and it lasted for 2 years. Ernesto also owned a restaurant and barber shop with many clients. Needless to say, the location is now closed. I'm not exactly sure when it opened, but I see Nesto's barber shop dates back to 2015. The security company was opened in 2021 and it dissolved in 2022. Now that everyone's up to speed, let's get to the goods. The first call is from March 7th and is between Shirley Strawberry and her husband, Ernesto.
Hello, this is a free call from.
Nesto.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello?
Hello.
How you
Hold on
doing?
1 second, please. Hold on. I'm good. Hold on. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So I just got 5 minutes on a free phone call. So I just,
Oh, you do?
yeah. Let me know.
Okay.
I go to court Thursday, so say a prayer for me. And my lawyer just came saw me, so just gonna wait till Thursday and see what's gonna go down. So other than that, y'all doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm just leaving in God's hand and let him do what he do. That's all I
Okay.
can do. Yeah.
But you know, I always say a prayer for you. You do know that, right?
I do know that. You have some strong prayers too. So strong.
Well, good. I'm glad they're working.
Yeah, they're
On
working. They're
someone's
working.
behalf.
They're working.
That's good.
I'm just
Okay.
being positive and focused. So I just want to let you know that. Yeah, I want you to love you very much. And very happy that you got some coming till I get there.
Yeah, B.A.N.K came and got the truck.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh, he did? Okay.
No, you told me. You told me.
No, I told you he was going to get the truck. He actually went and got it. He didn't get it the day he said he was going to get it. He got it a couple of days later because he didn't have a ride. You know, he had to wait till he got a ride. Because something about his,
I got it.
yeah.
I got it. I understand. So he got a ride now.
Yeah, he had a ride and he got the truck.
Oh, okay.
Probably his girlfriend or something.
Yeah. Because she just probably she's trying to recover after what happened to her. So.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't meet her, but I guess I didn't meet her.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. I guess she was a nice girl.
Okay. Well, that's all I want to say over the phone.
Hey, Nesto! Debbie said, hey. He said, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm still hanging
in. He said he's good. He's hanging in there. Well, good, honey. That's good. She said, love you.
Okay, love you too. Hey, tell her
He
hang
said,
on
love
in
you
now.
too.
What her bestie?
He said, hang on in there with your bestie. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I love
All
you.
right, love.
I'll call you
Love you too.
Thursday.
Okay. All right.
All right. Love.
So I said what I said. I said a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. I I see you here. You joined me, but I did that mistake that most content creators do. My microphone was on mute. And I just happened to look in the comments and see that you were here because I was playing around in the YouTube studio. So if you're running StreamYard like I am, and I'm just trying to figure StreamYard out and really make an effort to understand it. So I was actually trying to figure out how to bring up this live when I saw your content in the YouTube studio and not just in StreamYard. And I wasn't paying attention to the screen to see that I had it on mute. So anyway, the only thing what I was saying while I had everything paused and it was quiet. The only thing I was saying was that it's funny looking at Shay's intro because it just seems so different than what we're used to right now. And right now, I don't think I missed anything or I didn't pick up on anything that we all haven't already kind of discussed or kind of went wow about, except for that darn truck of Nesto, that F-350. Mm, that thing just, it's like, I don't know, at this point, it's like a zombie truck, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing tonight. And I should have figured you'd be up. Thank you for coming in tonight. So I'm just actually I'm listening, to be quite honest. I'm listening to see if I pick up on anything that I may have missed. Or we've heard so many of these calls that there's a lot that we probably missed. So, but again, thank you for being here tonight, sis. Thank you.
All right. All right. Love you too. Bye.
Remember, this call was made on March 7th, and everything seems to be fine between them. Just to note, the next call and the last call are the only two phone calls that were made between Ernesto and Shirley through the jail. That means in 4 months' time, they only talked twice, with about a month in between each call. However, Ernesto does have access to a tablet which has messaging capabilities, and they could be communicating that way. Unfortunately, the public does not have access to those records, so I cannot bring you that data. On this call, you'll notice there's only 60.
I think because we've heard so many calls, especially between Ernesto and Sonia, that we forget there's not a lot of calls from Shirley. And when phone calls from prison first started airing these calls, um, we thought that was it. I mean, these little handful of calls that we got. This is before everybody got a little smarter, especially Shay and her husband, where they realized that multiple phone numbers were being used and other pins were being used, and they were doing three-way calls too. So this is like the gift that keeps giving. I said what I said. You said that's why I sleep. Let me go ahead and highlight that. That's why I sleep till 9:10 because I'm up late. Well, I'm up late too, but I think I might have said this to you, or we may have talked about a little bit on Lady T Bug's lives. But I used to work third shift. I mean, I worked from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. for like almost 10 years. And even though I'm almost a year outside of that, I still can't get on track and I'm trying and tonight I'm up. That's how hard I'm trying. My body is just so used to going to bed, so late early in the morning. late at night, early in the morning. I'm trying to readjust that schedule, but it hasn't been working because I really don't have a reason to go to bed any earlier or to get up earlier. But I am trying to give myself a reason, and that is working out. So we'll see if that changes. But yeah, back to the calls. Yeah, we didn't know that there were going to be more, and this is just a little call. Actually, it's only like what, a little under 14 minutes. But yeah, I want to listen to see what we may have missed. And by the way, just to let you know, I actually went to phone calls from prison. I went to their videos and I did like their oldest videos because they started these videos very early out in their channel. I mean, they only had a couple of videos up, and I believe it was just like the Murtaugh tapes, but I wanted to get them in order as we were hearing them. So she does have some playlists. Shay has some playlists over there, but the playlists aren't in order of when she actually released um, the phone calls. So I'm going in order of when she actually uploaded the phone call. So I'm just kind of trying to recreate the moment. And also, if anybody watches this on replay, um, I just also want to give space and the opportunity for people who may have missed the first couple of calls, or the first few calls, or maybe even the first few months of calls. I know you guys may be up to speed, but you didn't get to react to them like we did in real time. And at that time, I was only aware of Real Talk Bougie reacting to these videos very early on. So I was watching her and getting her, kind of feedback and her interpretation of what she thought was going on.
Seconds to talk. This is because Ernesto's commissary account is almost empty. You'll hear him ask Shirley to add some money to his account. Around 90% of the calls Ernesto made were free promotional calls, which makes me wonder if Shirley is choosing not to load up his commissary account. This call was made on April 14th.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link. You have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay, say it like a,
60 seconds.
You have 1 minute remaining.
so you didn't put it in there yet?
Put what in there yet?
You got to put the money on the books, on the phone.
No, she has to ask me. You have to talk this out.
Oh, I
You have
didn't
to
know
talk
that.
this out.
Okay.
I didn't either. Yeah. So
Okay.
you have to talk this out, call back, and call back. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What y'all eat for breakfast over there?
I'm drinking some tea, and I ate some little, like tea cookies, and Debbie's eating some chicken and rice.
Oh, chicken and rice this time of night? This time of morning?
You eat eggs at night.
You know what? That's true. Thank you. You sure right. I sure miss some pancakes too.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
As of right now, this is the last time Shirley has talked to Ernesto. I have more calls coming to verify this claim, but until then, here's more calls that will help explain why she just might be finished with Ernesto. The next call is between Ernesto and one of his friends on May 16th. He informs Ernesto that old girl has called old girl in California and told her everything. I can only assume that the woman in California is Shirley Strawberry. It makes sense because Shirley has not spoken to Ernesto since April 14th.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing.
Hey, I said what I said. Did we ever figure out who old girl in California was? Because we now know that wasn't Shirley. But did we ever suss out who old girl was? Because I don't remember. I think we had some theories. And at this point, I'm not sure if in this set of calls that she has is Sonya reference, but I don't think we had any reference point for Sonya at all. If you know, or I don't remember. I don't think nobody, Slide, Nyla, nor Fran. I don't think we really figured out who was out there in LA, who old girl was, unless it was one of his daughters. It could be one of his daughters. I don't know. But anyway.
All right, shit. I'm trying to make it, man.
Oh, I told you, old girl call old girl in California, told her everything.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I got that part, but don't talk about that on. Don't talk about that. I got you.
Yeah.
This next clip is from May 29th, and you'll hear Ernesto and a friend talk about how Shirley wants to sell the truck. I believe the truck they're talking about is either a box truck or an 18-wheeler that Ernesto owns and used for his mobile barber shop. It sounds like Ernesto isn't really cool with it, as you'll hear.
Yeah, chilling. And wifey just called me today and said she want
Now
to
we
sell the
know his
truck.
friend is Lamont, or
Yeah,
as
I
I
want
like to
that.
call him,
Said she want to
Booty
sell it.
Tang.
Oh, she wants that. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. She probably got somebody here. But that's fine. I mean, I don't really give a damn no more by the way she going now. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I can't control nobody. I'm still sitting in here. Yeah,
But,
that's my first time hearing about that. But I called and see what she talking about.
yeah, she been said she want to get rid of it, but she just called and said something to me after a couple of months. She just said something today.
Okay, this sounds like Dion.
Yeah,
This isn't.
yeah.
No, this is not
She
Lamont. This
probably
is
just
Dion,
sitting some
right?
kind of way. Nobody called, checked on her, and all that.
So she needs some money.
Shit, that ain't gonna put nothing in your pocket.
So, this is another reason why I think Shirley might be moving on since she's wanting to sell Ernesto's truck. I have a funny feeling that she knew he would not be okay with it. The next call is from May 30th of this year, and you will hear
That
Ernesto is
truck is
becoming
still in
concerned
Shirley's
that Shirley
name,
is
so we
not responding
know
to his calls. Remember,
that
this call
truck
you're about
is
to
not
hear
getting
is one
sold.
day
Shirley is
after the last
apparently
call
not
you
going to
just
sell
heard.
that truck.
Did you call Shirley and see what's going on with her? She's not picking that phone up. I answered the text, so something must be wrong with her. You hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. You good?
yeah, I'm good.
You say you talked to her yesterday. I don't know why she ain't picking the phone up.
Yeah, I don't know what she got doing. She thought she was outside yesterday when she called. I need to add some money on this phone.
Yeah, yeah. Just send me the old girl. She'll set it up for you.
I don't know why she be acting.
Okay, now we know who old girl is. So back then we did not know that was Sonya. So this is funny because tonight, when I was in Grown Women Vibes chat, listening to her doing the recap on the most recent video, Dion had a problem with sending old girl money, and I'm still trying to figure out why they have to send money to Sonya to put, time on his phone. That I would love to know the reasoning behind that.
Acting cheap as hell.
Man, come on now.
What you mean? Come on now. I sent her the money. She acting like, oh, should be weird.
Okay, sir. Yeah, just check on, see what's going on. Tell her I've been trying to text you and text her back or call. So they called her yesterday. She ain't answered the phone. I called today. She ain't answered. So something ain't right. She ain't got a phone or something.
So it sounds like Shirley was made aware of Ernesto's doings on around May 16th, according to the calls we just heard. She hasn't spoken to him since April 14th, all the way up to June 20th. That's a 2-month hiatus. As you heard, Ernesto can't seem to figure out why Shirley isn't answering his calls. Remember, I have more calls coming from July of this year, so I will make another video update to let you guys know if she still is ghosting him. I also have calls coming from all the way back to November of 2022, so be on the lookout for those as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you don't miss those updates. Here's another little tidbit of information I found interesting of how Ernesto is basically bragging that an undisclosed donor paid his $800,000 bond. Although that bond never had to be paid because he's still in jail, you'll also hear that Shirley and her friend were going to put up their house as collateral for the bond, but they didn't have to do that because of the undisclosed donor. Here is the clip from that phone call.
What's up, player?
What's up, Bill?
Yeah, everything good with you?
Hey, man, just moving and grooving, trying to keep this shit from piling up on me.
So if this is your first time listening to this call, this is Dion. So I recognize Dion's voice. So now, what listening to these calls again when we weren't sure who the players are, it's hilarious to me that now I can identify them by their voice.
Yeah. So I'm just moving. That's it. Just sitting here thinking what the fuck I'm doing, and when I get out, that's it. But I always get out in a good tune. So I'm looking at April gonna be a pretty good month. If not, I'll be sitting this bitch to goddamn at least June. But my mindset is I'm straight and Shirley got the place. I know it's gonna be booming. I already know that. So at least I got somewhere to go when I get up out of here. I ain't got them fraud dresses these niggas got.
That shit look nice.
Yeah, I know this. She gonna move fast. And what I didn't know is that if I did make bond, I didn't have to worry about the bond because Dre, I didn't tell Shirley this, but Dre was gonna put his property up, and then the lawyer came and told me that I didn't have to worry about that because it was already paid for from undisclosed donor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said what I said. Who do you think the undisclosed donor was? Do you think at this time, because this was very early on in this whole drama, all of his dirt hadn't really came out, and the story was hush hush. Do you think it was Steve?
So, but anyway, long story short, I'm just chilling. That's all I can do. But it's gonna work in my favor. It always does.
Could the undisclosed donor be Steve Harvey? I mean, I'm not
I was
trying to throw
thinking the
shade at
same
him,
thing,
but
Shay.
who else does Ernesto know with that kind of cash? We know it isn't Shirley after hearing the call about how she was just going to put up her house. Of course, I'm just speculating that it could be Steve. Maybe Ernesto has a rich sugar mama that we don't know about, but I seriously doubt it. In the end, it looks and sounds like
Now
Shirley
Shay was
Strawberry
right
got caught
about
up in the
that.
big mess that Ernesto
Shirley was his
created.
only sugar
Since she
mama,
has seemingly cut
and
communications with
Sonya
him,
broke
she may have
behind,
chosen to
couldn't
just
do
move on.
anything.
But I will definitely let you know if she hasn't, since I have July's calls on the way. I'm guessing Shirley would love to use a rewind button to before she even met Ernesto. But hey, haven't we all wished for a rewind at least one point in our lives? Or she could be standing by her man. Only time will tell. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, that was in terms of phone calls. We're used to longer ones now, even the in person visits. But I thought that was very interesting because number one, I can identify who is talking on the phone with Ernesto. So in these sets of calls, it was Lamont. Well, first it was Shirley, Lamont, and then there was Dion. So now I can identify, the voices. And I know she said the last time that they talked was like June 20th, but we know there was more calls than the three that she said initially. And then like when she makes reference to Shirley putting up her house, well, we know that Shirley don't she doesn't own a house anymore. She already sold that house, and then this is the first time we hear about Dre. Now, if you're listening, for the first time, like we all were, we didn't catch Dre, or I don't remember catching Dre's name. So, um, this is all new to me. And I was just looking at your comment. I said what I said. Um, Bank, when did Shay narrate the calls? This is the first call, like the first call, first upload, period. So she was just cutting her teeth at this point. The channel was real new. Even the calls that she had prior, they were all new. I'm going to actually pull the second call because this one was so short. But yeah, this was all new to Shay. So let me go back. Let's just go back to the list of calls because I just sorted them from oldest. So like this, the Murtaugh. This was the first video. Let me move my thing out the way so you can see my banner. Boy, this StreamYard ain't no joke. The way that Fran and Lady T Bug and all the other ones be whipping it around. Look, this is something else, but I do like it. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, this was the first call. So I'm going to play the second call. I think I started to rewatch it again, but I don't remember. There's just so much going on with this story. So I'm going to tee this one up. So that one was so short that, might as well throwing in another one. But yeah, this was new, so I think that was just her style at the time. And I mean, I don't have a problem with that style, but I like what she does now because I love when she says, "Let's take a listen." But yeah, so let me go ahead and tee this one up so we can listen to this one too.
No, 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 no. Listen.
Okay.
I didn't mean to start playing it. It just started playing, but let me check out your comments here. Well, I didn't remember she made the calls this way. It's been a long journey with a lot of calls. Exactly. And that's why I was saying if you look at the intro, I'm so used to the intro she has now that this is different. And to be quite honest, when the calls first dropped, of course I was being nosy and of course I just wanted to be entertained, but I didn't know it was going to take on a life of its own that this first call I believe dropped at the end of August. So September. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 7 months we've been watching this. So this is part two. It says bombshell Shirley Strawberry jail calls with husband. And I'm not sure what this one is about because now I'm just like I said, this has been a while.
No, 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 no. Listen.
Okay. Okay.
Come on now. You're doing too much.
Wow.
Okay.
Them titties so great, it's ridiculous. Thank you for allowing me to be the first mother to touch them. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. But you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm back with some crazy new information about Shirley Strawberry and her husband Ernesto. If you're unfamiliar with them, please go watch my first video that I dropped about 2 weeks ago. I do quickly want to apologize for my voice sounding like this. I'm just getting over a bout of laryngitis. Also, want to give a shout out to fellow YouTuber Love Lies and Lace Fronts. Without her recommendation, these videos would not exist. Go check out her channel and please give her a sub. Okay, so I just got a huge drop of calls from September 2022 until the end of February 2023. I'm in the process of listening to all of them now.
FYI for anybody who may watch this on the replay or is watching now, Love Lies and Lace Front is a channel that is hosted by Francois. She has a second channel called Real Talk Bougie where she does reactions to these videos. So Shay, the owner, the person who narrates this channel, her and her husband are a team that put these videos up. Francois from Love Lies and Lace Fronts, she actually asked them if they could find these calls, or if they could get access to these calls and put them up, and that's why she gave uh, Love Lies and Lace Fronts a shout out because at that time, Fran was posting a lot more on Love Lies and Lace Fronts, but she was building Real Talk Bougie, and it's just like a perfect storm. These calls were a perfect storm for Fran. It allowed her to build up Real Talk Bougie to where it's at. So I've always said well, I've always gave her props even in comments early on, letting people know that we would not have these calls if it was not for her. So I just wanted to thank her too because this is like a modern day soap opera to me. But let's go ahead and start this call.
Now, but I wanted to share the first call between Shirley Strawberry and Ernesto and a call between Ernesto and that woman in Florida. Shirley and him speak about his new charges and how Shirley's daughter Sheridan supposedly caused these new charges by talking to the cops. Shirley even says her daughter is in the wrong and was tricked by the cops. This call was made September 30th of last year, about 10 days after he was transferred to a new jail.
Hello?
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
Oh, this is better. This is a way better jail. Not gonna lie to you. That's why I fuck with the crackers. They more organized, and yeah, this is way better. I could go outside by myself, and I can it's caged up, but I can at least see the sun. It's pretty outside. I ain't seen sun in 3 months.
I know. You told me that. That's crazy. Sheridan went down.
Sheridan, what?
She went down there
For what?
to talk to him. I don't know what she said. I don't know.
Wow.
She did go down. Yeah. I didn't want to tell you. I don't know. I don't know.
That's where the other charges come from then.
Well, I'm just telling you what happened. She went
And
down there. Listen. That's all I know. We'll talk about it when we get out.
So this is the beginning of Nesto trying to pin all his trouble and woes on Shirley's daughter Sheridan. Now we know now none of this is Sheridan's fault. And to be quite honest, even at the time of this dropping and not knowing a lot about the story, this didn't sound right to me. And it really didn't sit right with my soul because it's like, okay, so I did know once we started talking about even the first call, I kind of understood who, the players were somewhat in terms of at least Shirley, Ernesto, Steve Harvey, and his wife Marjorie. And also that Shirley had a daughter. And right off the bat, the way Shirley even said it, I was like, oh, there's trouble in paradise. Maybe her and her daughter don't get along. But how he even initially talked about Sheridan set off all kind of red flags. He came in like a pit bull as soon as she mentioned, Sheridan. And she's even entertaining the fact that Sheridan caused a problem by doing this. In my opinion, now looking at it in hindsight, yeah, she didn't want to rock the boat. She didn't want anybody, kind of giving oxygen to this issue, and it didn't, Sheridan going down there just wasn't a good look. But I think it was more so for Shirley. I think Shirley was really thinking about just this not getting out to the press. I don't think she was too much concerned about in terms of Sheridan getting him in more trouble, only that getting Nesto in more trouble would create more trouble for Shirley, because now we know she's all about image. But hearing this for the first time, even not knowing the whole story or as much as the story we know today, it still never sat well with me at all. Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when you get out. But yeah, that did happen, and uh, it was about a month or so ago. She went down there.
that's why
When
they
the
put the
sheriff go
charge.
down there?
That's why they put the extra charges
When the
on me.
sheriff go down there? Yeah, it was about a month ago.
That's why they put the extra charges on my ass. It's something she done said stupid that she don't even know what she talking about.
Yep. I
Wow.
didn't. She didn't tell me she was going. She just went. Yeah.
What kind of fucking shit is that?
All right.
Damn.
Okay.
All right. Okay then. That's
I
what.
wasn't trying to ruin. Hey, listen. I wasn't trying to ruin your day, honey. Okay. I
Wow.
wasn't trying to
So
ruin your
why did
day.
you say anything to him?
Wow.
That girl hate me so fucking bad. That bad.
Wow.
Okay. Don't let it ruin your day. Okay. Please don't.
Wow.
Okay, all right then.
All right. Listen. Yeah. So he knew it. So at least you got moved. At least it's 90 days. You're getting out. You deal with that when you get out or whatever. We'll deal with that when we get out. I'll put it like that.
Wow.
And you ain't talked to
Yeah.
her since then.
No, I don't know if she knows I know.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. All right. And I don't know what she said, but she was scared. She was scared or whatever, and nosy, and she wanted to know because they kept telling her, they have, her name is on some documents, just
Oh
like they
man.
told me.
Right.
Wait, listen, honey, listen, just like they told me, and she was upset about all of that, and it's like, of course, your name.
So I said what I said. We've had many conversations on the panel with Lady T Bug about Shirley, and you have been very clear about how you feel about Shirley. And listening to this call right now, this kind of this takes me back. And yeah, I can understand why you hold firm on your opinions about Miss Shirley, because she said that Sheridan was being nosy because they said her name was on some paperwork. Excuse me. I want to know where my name is showing up if I don't remember putting my name there. And just because Shirley is so checked out, she assumes that her daughter is going to be the same way. I mean, I guess it didn't bother Shirley for Nesto to be running all around Atlanta and, the surrounding counties and putting her name here and there. That's why she's where she's at right now. That's why this whole situation is happening, because I personally feel like that if Shirley allowed this Nesto monster to grow, she gave him room to breathe and to continue to do his crimes. She basically unleashed this terror on the people of Atlanta. Because had she from day one not entertained him, in my opinion, I don't know where he, would be at. I don't know who he would be scamming, but he probably would not be at the level he is right now. Or even if she, went ahead and married him, which she obviously did, that as soon as that first arrest in their marriage came about, she would have laid down the law or kicked him to the curb. But like many people have said, Shirley just turned a blind eye. And just because Sheridan is not willing to turn a blind eye, she's now public enemy number one. And the amount of disdain that Shirley is kind of expressing in this call towards Sheridan, um, I I don't know. This was back in September of 2022. I wonder how much stress obviously was on Shirley with Nesto being locked up, but how much was that affecting her relationship with her daughter? Because now today it sounds like they've mended some fences, but she was totally under Nesto's spell. And we talk about this as we listen to the calls when she finally, kind of beats him back with her words, kind of stands up to him. But it sounds like at this point she was still drinking the Nesto Kool-Aid.
Name is going to be on some stuff. You lived at our house. Your kids lived at our house. So anyway, she went down there. I don't know what she said. I don't know what was asked of her, but she doesn't understand that they were trying to trick her. She doesn't get that part of it. She just wanted to know what it was, and she was scared because I guess they kept calling her. And I asked them not to call her, but they called her because I stopped answering their calls. But then they called her and scared her, and she went down there.
They sure did.
Wow.
She
Because there's
sure
no
did
telling
think
what
he
they
was going to be
said
in and out.
to her to get her down there. I mean, because I just thought, they just used some trickery, and she fell for it and went down there.
Wow.
Because she
But how is
stopped
that
saying
even
wow.
nosy?
I mean, that's
I
all
don't
I can
get
say.
that.
I mean, it's
I know. But what I'm saying that to say that just put that up until you get out, okay? And then we'll deal with that, okay? Don't marinate on that. Don't fixate on that.
wow.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It happened about a month ago, and people think just because you get arrested that you're guilty. They don't even consider that. Seriously.
Yeah, I haven't
Huh?
even been officially charged. I haven't even been officially charged.
Officially charged. I know, but
No.
what I'm saying is, people think just because you're arrested, you're guilty.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's what the deal is with that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so did you peep that or is it just me? It sounded like Shirley, now we know that they like to talk in code. And even Shirley, I think at this point, is indulging in that code talk. So it's funny because she says, and that's what people think. You get what I'm saying? So I believe she's talking about Sheridan. The Sheridan is like, yeah, the man did it. In other words, from day one, Sheridan never believed that Nesta was innocent of anything, and Shirley was still in La La Land. But that's what I'm getting is that if there was a conversation, Sheridan made it very clear that she thought that Nesto is right where he's supposed to be.
that's
Okay.
I know that. I know. Maybe I shouldn't have told you.
I would have found out anyway because the
I
statement
know
came
you
out.
would have. I know you would have. I just told you because we were talking about that, you
Yeah,
know,
You need to
that's
add
why
that
and
to
I
the
thought
Nesto
about it.
yeah, that's
dictionary.
why they dropped the charge and came back with different shit. That's why because they had her name
Well,
on the document on the warrant. And the name was on the warrant like she was supposed to be somewhere, but she didn't know nothing about what nothing. They just used that to try to find what I had going on. I had shit going on. It's just amazing, but it's okay. It's all right.
I know, but yeah, I'm sorry I had to tell you that, but I thought that was just horrible. She doesn't understand what she's doing, but yeah, the hatred runs deep. I haven't heard from her since about 2 weeks,
Now
you know,
what if I were
and she
nasty?
keeps the kids from me. You know, she keeps the kids from me, so
Well,
I guess she's upset. Huh?
what if I told it was like one of the more hateful ass that's in here now that's no good and say, hey, you my wife, you don't need to pay your daughter nothing. Kick her ass out. What if I one of them mean motherfuckers like that?
Oh, I know, I know,
You see what
I
I'm saying?
know.
She'll be on the street right now if I was one of them dirty drunk motherfuckers that's smoking weed and drinking all day, fighting a wife, and I ain't doing all that shit.
Right, and I wouldn't be married to you, but yeah, you're right. If you did
No,
all
I'm
that.
just saying. I mean, folks be
Shirley's
in
like,
love
I
with who they
wouldn't
be
be
in love
married
with,
to
but
you.
I
I
ain't
don't
doing
know,
that shit.
Shirley. I don't
That
know.
I
shit
know.
crazy.
Well, I will say this: it was wrong. She shouldn't have done it. I don't know. Somebody was in her ear. You know,
Wow.
I think someone was in her ear telling her because she can't keep anything. So
Wow.
she was probably scared. I think, I don't know, but she may have called a bunch of people and asked them what should she do because she was really scared. She was very scared. She was up.
See, Shirley, you can't have it both ways. You see how she's straddling the fence at this point? First, she's basically acting like Sheridan is just being vindictive and being mean, and she's pissed off at her about that. But in the next breath, she's like, oh, she was scared, and other people were in her ear. And yeah, I agree with you. I said what I said. Obviously, now we know it's Panay because they're naming names at this point. Shirley's naming names. She ain't talking about them folks and coach and all that other stuff. She's just calling them by their names. But we know that Sheridan and Panay kind of was bonding over this whole thing with Ernesto. But yeah, he's trying to act like he was a prince among men, or he was just this noble gentleman who came into her home. He did wreck her home. No, he wasn't drinking and smoking weed and abusing her and doing all that stuff and telling her that her daughter had to get the F out. But he made it very uncomfortable for Sheridan to be there. And he got in Shirley's ear. And, Shirley's solution was, I guess, to, you know, give Sheridan her own place and pay for it. But she also said, too, I found very telling, is that Sheridan went down and talked to the police a month ago prior to this call. She's just now telling Ernesto. I don't know why that is. And then she also starts to talk about how she hasn't seen the kids in 2 weeks. Well, you know what? Those are the consequences, in my opinion. And I have a close relationship with my mother, but if my mother was dealing with somebody like Ernesto, I would feel a type of way too if she started, this man is in jail and yet she is, kind of feeling some type of way about me talking to law enforcement when my name is put on something that's now involved in a criminal investigation. I'm not going to jail for him. We all know that Shirley wouldn't go to jail for him. The most Shirley's willing to do is basically pay out hush money, pay for the lawyers and all that other good stuff and hope and pray it doesn't, leak into the media, which did not happen. But, she's expecting Sheridan to put her freedom at risk for Ernesto, the man who basically put another wedge in between her relationship with her and her mother. We already know that Sheridan was raised by her grandmother. Now she gets her mom, and this ninja comes along and he's calling shots and she's catering to him. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with or I don't see, well, I guess Shirley's in her feelings, but from an outsider and someone looking from the outside perspective, I can clearly see why Sheridan is not taking those kids over to see her mom. Now the whole issue of Shirley paying her rent, hey, it costs to be the boss. She's willing to pay all this money for an attorney for this fool. I really can't feel too sorry for her for coming off this money for her grown daughter and her grandkids. I know some people have opinions about that, but but she's put Sheridan second so much. I can see why she's retaliating in this manner.
Upset, and you don't tell me what's going on, but I don't have to about my marriage. I just think she was nosy. She wanted to know what was going on, and she was like, "He had my kids' name. My kids' names were on some documents."
No, I
So,
didn't. What? No, she lying
well,
like
that's
a
what the
motherfucker.
police. No, 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 no. Listen.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
come on now. You're doing too much.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay,
you're doing
okay.
too much. That's what the cops told her. They told me the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's their tactics. They will scare you because they want you to come in. They want to see if they can get anything, and that didn't work. I kept saying if they had anything, they would arrest you. If they had something, they would come and get you. Don't worry, you ain't got to go to them.
Wow. That's okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't that motherfucking cold blooded when you playing with your fucking kids like that.
I
I
hate
want to
to.
apologize for
Oops,
my
I did
voice
not
sounding
mean
like
to.
this.
Oh
I'm
my
just getting over
goodness.
about.
I was just pausing at a certain point. Let's see if I can catch up to where we were
I
at.
haven't heard from her since about 2 weeks.
One of them dirty drunk motherfuckers.
Okay.
And she was like, he had my kids' name. My kids. You don't tell me what's going on, but I don't have to do. What should she do? Because she was really scared. She may have called a bunch of people and asked them.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just meant to hit pause and I end up sliding the video back to the beginning. The reason why I pause here, because I have a background in law enforcement. Once upon a time, I was a police officer. And for Shirley to say Sheridan should have just waited for them to come and arrest her, no, no, no. You don't want that because it's never going to be like at a convenient time. Police don't call your house. Well, I guess a detective could have given her some courtesy. No, they would have put a warrant out for Sheridan, and she may have been doing something with her kids, around her friends, in a situation that doesn't lend itself to being arrested. You have a warrant on you. Maybe Nesto is okay with getting picked up off the street, but somebody like Sheridan, I don't think so. And for you to even put your daughter or suggest that your daughter put herself in that position is very telling. Again, I think this Shirley from September 30th of 2022 is a different Shirley we hear later on when she kind of gets away from Nesto. But now just think about Sheridan in her situation dealing with this in the moment where Shirley was so like captivated or as I said what I said dematized by Nesto. There was no getting through to her. She wanted to have her cake and eat it too. And she wanted Sheridan to go along for the ride. And Sheridan wasn't going along for it. Not at all. Now, to me, if that doesn't show how much Sheridan cares about her mom, I know some people may say, "Oh no, she only cares about Shirley because Shirley's paying those bills." Come on now, that's her mom, and you see this ninja come along and just take advantage of her. I know she felt some type of way, and the only power that Sheridan had is with those grandbabies. This is a mess. This is a mess. So let me read what you're saying. I said what I said. Her and Sheridan has never gotten along well before him. He just made it worse. Yeah, I agree, and that's what I was saying. Her being raised by her grandmother, and that was always a difficult relationship. And I believe that they have highs and lows. They have like very high highs and very low lows. So I get that there's a constant struggle there. But yeah, he made it worse. He made it a lot worse. And I said what I said. Also says that's exactly the advice Panay gave Sheridan, and Panay is right for that. But of course, we know that Shirley demonizes Panay and about this. So this is interesting now that I'm hearing it now. I'm almost like we almost like have a third ear if you're like me and you've watched this from the beginning and you've watched this saga play out. And I know I said what I said has. So this is interesting.
What should she do? Because she was really scared. She was very scared. She was upset, you know. And you don't tell me what's going on, but I don't have to about my marriage. I just think she was nosy. She wanted to know what was going on, and she was like, "He had my kids' name. My kids' names were on some documents."
No, I
So
did.
you know.
What? No, she lying.
Well,
Like
that's what the police. No, 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 no. Listen.
Okay.
Come on now. You're doing too much.
Wow.
Okay. You're doing too much. That's what the cops told her. They told me the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's their tactics. You know, they will scare you because they want you to come in. They want to see if they can get anything. And that didn't work. I kept saying if they had anything, they would arrest you. If they had something, they would come and get you. Don't worry. You ain't got to go to them.
Wow. It's okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't that motherfucking cold blooded when you playing with your fucking kids like that.
I know.
I'm the one talking about I'm gonna take care of the kid. I'm the one who tell you and do
I know, baby. I know. She in her head, something's off in her head. You know, and like I said, I believe someone had her ear.
Wow.
And you know, when you get out, we'll get the full story. But I believe someone had her ear and was talking to her because, yeah. And you know, you better go on down there. Well, just go on down there and clear it up, or you know, whatever.
But it's so stupid. If just going down the clear and if something happened, who's gonna get her the fuck out? Them
Exactly. She doesn't get that part. But
wow.
But you know, when people hear cops, you know, they get scared. And you know, I'll admit it wasn't the most comfortable situation for me. You know, especially given my status and all of that. But I'm still not going down there. And if I did, you know, a wife can't really testify against her husband, like, well, in court anyway.
Well,
but it's like, no.
But I ain't gonna put you in no harm way like that.
I know you're not. And I know you're not even stupid to put yourself in that kind of a position. I know that too. I know that too, but
yeah. Well, it's okay. But it's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. God is working it out. You know, and that's what I want you to stay focused on. When you get out, you know, we'll talk about all this stuff. But, you know, I don't want it to be about her. I know what she did was wrong, and we'll deal with that. But let's concentrate on the fact that even through all that, God is still working. You know, that's where our focus has to be on the positive.
Yeah, but I ain't no focus on that because they're going to have to apologize, and I ain't even looking for it. Sometimes you can put it, how many people in here, false imprisonment. Oh, my. I'm talking real.
Especially black people. I know.
Wow.
I know that.
I've been in here 90 days. I probably went to my second appearance in 2 weeks. I'm already 2 months and a half, 3 months past my second appearance. For real.
That's okay because it's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called to His purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
All things work together for the good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. People think they know, but they don't even know. So it's all right.
Well, they better come on with it then, because I got God on my side, and He ain't let me down yet. So I'm good.
That's right.
We good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We are.
That is fine.
All right, honey. Well, I'm glad you're in a better place. Like I said, God is working it out. I'm glad you're in a better place. So it's just a matter of time now.
Yeah, that's all it is. I know I probably got another week. Like I said, just cool out until the 90 days, see what's going to happen.
They don't want to. You ain't been indicted yet, so just hold tight, and you'll be just fine.
Okay.
So that's
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we're on God's timing. We're on
yeah,
His program.
yeah. But
Period.
that's it. You're right. Okay, love. I love
Hmm.
you. I call you tomorrow if it rains.
All right, my love.
Okay, love
Thank
you.
you. Love you. Bye. Bye.
I wanted to share this next call to shed some light onto the rumor of Ernesto having a side chick in Florida. This call is from September 29th, a day before the last call you just heard. Ernesto asked for pics of this woman, calls her very pretty, and as you
Oh,
heard
this
in the
is
first
when we're
clip, he
introduced
claims to
to
be the first one to
Sonya.
touch her new set, if you know what I mean.
I can't hear you.
You can or can?
Oh, now I can. I was like, what
Can you hear
you
me now?
This is hilarious to me. Because again, I kind of sort of remember listening to this call and not having a clue or no context to put this call into. But now we know Sonya, aka Coach, aka Ponytail, aka Bonytail, aka Side Chick, aka Side Hen. I could just keep going on and on. She has so many AKAs. But I haven't listened to this call since it dropped, this portion of the call. So I am tuned in. I'm tuned in. This is gonna be fun, at least in my opinion. Oh, by the way, I changed up my overlay to put a G Wagon on the screen. I believe Shirley's G Wagon was white, but I'm partial to black. I have a black truck, not a G Wagon, but I have a black truck. So I remember making this overlay and thinking about Shirley when I came up with the G Wagon. And to be quite honest, I don't really like them. I don't aesthetically, I don't really, I'm not impressed by them. But of course, if someone was to park one in front of my house and to hand me the keys and say it's mine, I definitely would take it. But yeah, let's go ahead and listen to Sonya because I'm actually very interested in hearing this call.
Now, can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Mm,
The communication with you is less harder because I can't email.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I got to
That's
figure that
fine.
out.
But you can actually get mail there.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, you can get mail there. I
You
can
can
send you mail.
get
Uh-huh.
pictures and all that too.
Yeah, there's no Polaroid.
Okay, well I'm good with that then. Send me the same one you sent me then. I'm good with that. Especially the one with that tank top. I love that one. That's my favorite one.
Is that your favorite one?
Yeah, and the one you land in the bed, one picture in your bed. I love
Okay. My stocking picture.
that. Yeah. Cause you took two, but if one is out there, it's my favorite. I think the one with the glasses, you had the glasses on. I can't,
Mm-hmm.
but I love
With
that
the
one.
short hair?
Yeah, I like that. I like all of them. To be honest with you, I like all of them. But them pictures more important to me than they got them commissary, cause they feed you good. Yeah,
Right. Oh,
yeah, they give
good.
you good
See,
portions. Shower better.
I'm glad you liking it over there better. That it's a better facility.
Yeah. But I will say this here. I sure miss myself some good ass pussy. I'm not gonna lie. Can't wait. Get that motherfucker primed up, girl. Get that muffin right. Yeah, get that muffin right.
I'll be doing my exercises, my
Yeah.
stretches.
Hey, I'm over here. At least I can get the pictures in my hand of you.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that I'm excited about that part. So I gotta get me some stamps so I can write you back. So I got plenty of time to do that in here. I'm trying now, but I'm glad I went through what I went through so the
I'm
communication with
sorry.
I enjoy the communication with me and you
I'm sorry
every
about
day.
that.
Mhm.
I think I
I
Right.
like today
paused. I
because
don't
I
know
spent
what I
my
was
time
doing
with you. If
here.
I'm
Hold
up
on.
all night, I can read your letters all night.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, then I can
I was
text
trying
you
to do
and
something
respond back.
in
Ah, look at
my
you.
Yeah. I missed that
Mhm.
part now.
back
Cause that part.
my back office. I apologize about that. I was in the YouTube back office and I hit pause, so I don't know what happened to the video. Hopefully nothing messed up. But this is hilarious to me because remember from day one when Sonya came out to us, she kept saying that they're just friends, they're just friends. And I forgot about this whole I just forgot about the essence of this call. So yeah, with him telling her to pat it and all this other jazz, and she expect us fully realized grown women to believe that they were just friends. It's hilarious to me.
You make my time go by so quick like that. So how many pictures there allowed to have? Huh?
I don't know. I'll send as many as I can.
Well, I don't know you. Well, yeah,
You only need 5. I mean, that's all you need. 5.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
We don't have any together, so you know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, we're gonna have plenty together. Don't you worry about that shit. Don't even worry about that. All that shit, I already know that shit coming. I'm not worrying about that. I just tell you, I appreciate you for everything. I really appreciate you. You ain't have no clue. This is a man dream, for real.
For real.
Yeah, no, for real. The picture you sent me, I love that one you in the bed now. Cause what you took two on one awkward, but one is the best.
I will send you that one and the one with the tank top.
I love that one. I like the one with the glasses with the short hair. I like that one too. I
Okay.
like it. I like the one with the big braids. I love that one too.
Oh, the braid.
Yeah, I love that one too. That shit. You're a pretty motherfucking woman now. You're very pretty. You just unique. Got a unique style.
Like we just met though. You've known me for what, almost 2 years.
Yeah, but don't play with me.
You know, that's you.
Yeah, I mean, you know what
This
it
is
is.
this your first time seeing me?
No, I mean I understand when you be like, man, look here, man, it's something. Just move out your way. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I understand because you got that same goddamn aura about yourself. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at you as a female. That's all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're a threat. Motherfuckers want to be your side. Them titties so goddamn pretty. That shit is ridiculous. Thank you for allowing me to be the first motherfucking touch them pretty motherfuckers out. Thank you so very much.
That's pretty crazy.
What?
You're welcome. But you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, for real though.
And I like the fact that you appreciate them.
Yeah, I do.
Money
Yeah,
well
I do.
spent.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate it.
Money well spent.
Yeah, sure do. Do. Okay, love.
Okay. Well, call me tomorrow.
Okay, love you, there, sweetheart. Thank you so very much. Keep the game good and stay out the way.
I'll stay after that.
When that thing get hot, just pat it. That's all you got to do.
I take showers now. Thank you.
I saw that in your text. I saw that.
Right.
In your text. Yeah, I saw. I got to take a shower. I got to take a good shower.
I got to
Right. You what?
since I can't get to it.
Oh, that's all right. You're going to be just fine. Just keep working them jobs. Keep being.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
Just a note, after Nesto got transferred, the first 2 calls he made were to the woman in Florida. Over the course of these dates from September to February, he called that woman 92 times and talked for a total of roughly 32 hours. He called his wife Shirley 57 times and talked for a total of roughly 20 hours. I'm working on the rest of the calls now. There's almost 200 of them, so bear with me. But until then, here's a sneak peek into the next video.
Well, what you been doing?
Well, Ty called me today. Ty, the jewelry lady.
Yeah.
Somebody called her to say that the cashier's check that you wrote to get my ring.
What?
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, the cashier's check that you wrote to get my ring over a year and so ago, that was written off her account, and you stole $250,000 from her.
Do you think Ernesto has Shirley fooled? Do you think the woman in the second call is his side chick? Please let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, so that was very interesting. That call with Sonya was super superficial, but we know that's pretty much they're superficial even when they're trying to be quote unquote official, in my opinion. But yeah, Shay asked some questions. Do we think that that is his other woman? Yes, we do. Um, and what was her other question? I completely forgot what the other question was. Let me go back real quick just to see. Real quick, let's see.
Out. And
Do you think the woman in the second call is his side chick? Please let me know. Do you think
out, and you stole $250,000 from her.
Do you think Ernesto has Shirley fooled? Do you think the woman in the second call is his side chick?
Okay, so that's a loaded question because knowing what we know now, with Shay asking, do we think that Nesto has Shirley fooled? No, I don't. I don't know what do you think? Make sure you leave your opinions in the comments. I would love to know. But if you're chatting right now with me, I said what I said. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Of course, I think you think like I do. Shirley's not fooled. Like I've been saying all along, this is just my take on Shirley because these early calls were really focused on Shirley. They were really focused on Nesto's interactions and talks with Shirley. Shirley reminds me of a woman from a certain era. And I remember as a young woman watching these women. Shirley is like a lot of women that I grew up watching. They were they were pretty young in their prime. They were old enough to possibly be my mother, or at least big sister. And I watched these type of relationships where these women, they were kind of like, if you as long as you don't make me look bad, as long as I never find out about it, if you're doing your dirt, you're doing your dirt. And now Nesto took it to like the 10th degree. But in my opinion, Shirley just wanted the look. Nesto was able to give her the look that she wanted because he cleans up well. I mean, as much as I don't like him, and of course, the more I know of him, even when I look at those clean cut photos that he has up on his now defunct Instagram, I don't know if Nesto Lifestyle is still up, but there's enough pictures out there of him dressed up and cleaned up and well shaven and groomed. And I believe that's the man who Sonya is infatuated with, to be quite honest. I think she's suffering through the buckwheat phase of Nesto. And when I say buckwheat, if you're currently watching this drama play out, you know what he looks like. He looks like a hot mess. I say he looks like Father Time. But in any event, Shirley knew the man that she was getting. She was just hoping that he would never do anything that would um, see the light of day. In other words, make her look bad. He was arm candy. It's funny because he called her cotton candy, but he was her arm candy. And also, too, Shirley is really good at applying soft pressure. And what I mean by soft pressure is that she didn't have to ask for anything, but the way she moved and carried herself, Nesto, it played into his ego. He always wanted to prove, in my opinion, that he is a man that can take care of business and he could take care of his woman. So his idea of taking care of his woman, a woman like Shirley, who's used to the finer things and the nicer things, is putting her in a G wagon, giving her the $25,000 diamond ring, or was that was it a quarter of a million diamond ring? I can't remember. I know the check was for like 25,000, but he knew that he had to literally keep up with the Joneses, or at least present to her that he could hustle and bring some money in. He could make ends meet. So she wasn't worried about the rent being paid. She wasn't worried about car payments. She wasn't worried about his little hobbies, like his security company, his barbershop, all the other little endeavors he had, because they were putting her in a lifestyle that she wanted to be accustomed to. And so that was pressure on Nesto. I think that's why his crimes got bigger and bolder. And I think that's ultimately what got him caught up. So, in terms of, is Shirley really innocent in all this? I know that's been tossed around. A lot of people have been asking that question. In my opinion, I wouldn't say that she's like directly, like criminally, at fault or criminally culpable. But what I'm saying is that she set up the scenario where she was okay with him lying and scamming and doing all of that other stuff. Doing, and she didn't even care about the women. She didn't care because, like I said, she comes from a generation of women who kind of looked the other way. As long as like I said, as long as the man was quote unquote being a man, and that's what he presented to her. And I've also said too that she wanted the life that Marjorie Harvey had. She envied Marjorie, and I'm not saying it to the point where she disliked her, even though we find out in a couple of calls how she felt about Marjorie, and it was very passive. I wouldn't say she hated her, but you could tell there was some, the green eye monster kind of jumped out. But on a smaller level, she had, what Shirley had, because even though she didn't have, sorry, not have what Shirley had, Shirley in some small way had what Marjorie had. And even though Marjorie definitely had way more than Shirley, number one, having a husband that was not a criminal, as far as we know, and sorry, as an alleged criminal, I have to say allegedly, she was doing better than most people. I'm not driving a G wagon. And I'll get to your comments. I see you. I said what I said. You're putting some stuff in there, in the chat, and I'm not used to being on this end. And I find if I look at the chat, I kind of get off my game. But thank you, sis, for commenting. And if you are watching, feel free to comment. Feel free to let me know what you think. We don't bite in here. Everybody's welcome. Okay, but I guess my overall point is that everything, if we look at everything in a vacuum, it's a simple, there's always a simple answer. I think this is very complex. I think their relationship is very complex, and I think that's why we're so interested in this story, because not just because of the phone calls, but this is kind of giving us insight into the psyche of these people. It's giving us insight into the way these people live. And like for Shirley, like I said, she can, you know, like I said, I'm not driving a G Wagon. I'm not traveling to Dubai. I don't have a job where I clock in for a few hours to read a letter and make, what, $40,000 a month. She was making, what, 400,000 a year, I believe, or 500,000 a year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's way more than most women make. So for her, that was enough. And then her image kind of matched her quote unquote value. So I think that's what really, I personally think that's what got Nesto tied up. But let me stop rambling and let me look at what my girl, I said what I said, is saying, because I know she has some opinions about Shirley. So let me see what she says. Let's go. Let's see. Let's go. Okay. So Sonia alluded that he told her he was married in a funny type of way. Let's see. Yeah, yes, he schemed and scammed to impress Shirley. And that is honestly, that's what I think. I think so too. I mean, I think he would have done it anyway, but that Shirley was a lot of pressure. So even though we do feel sorry for Shirley, and I think rightly so, I don't feel sorry for Nesto, and I think rightly so. He's getting his just desserts. We see how he's acting out. I mean, they look, there was no victims here in their marriage. They both were using each other. So to me, I can't feel sorry for either one of them in this scenario in their relationship, because they kind of played off of each other. They absolutely did. And Shirley, with her passivity and her haughtiness, and I personally think that Nesto kind of resented her. I can go on and on about their relationship. I just think it was kooky. I thought it was crazy. I really, and I still think it's crazy because she hasn't filed for divorce. That man, for all intents and purpose, as much as we know, they are still married. They're actually still married. She has not divorced him, and we've been speculating as to why she's still married to him. But really, I don't see any reason. I don't, unless she's getting legal counsel saying, see how this all plays out, because I know even though he may possibly be married to other women, a lot of people are saying he still has to she still has to formally divorce him. And I don't know what assets that Shirley has, because she's not been a good steward of her money or her finances. But if she did get that raise that was alleged, to $5 million, they are a couple. And if he is not going to be indicted, if he's going to be let out, unfortunately, he may have cause to ask her for spousal support. And divorces, especially, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're researching to see if he's married, getting it verified. Again, let me just stop rambling about that because I don't know. I don't know at all. So let me look at this comment here. Canesto has Shirley looking like Queen of the South when she had on that pink wig. I don't feel sorry for either of them. Yeah, exactly. I don't. I really don't feel sorry for Shirley because now she sounds like she's living her best life. She got her man. She knows what he's doing. He ain't doing nothing unless he's hooking up with his bunkie. For once, she can sleep at night. She's got an apartment. She's got a bed now. She's not sleeping on the air mattress in the back room of her best friend's house. She got her homegirls to keep her company. She ain't got to worry about what this man is doing. And then on top of that, phone calls from prison is dropping these calls, and it's just giving her more and more fuel to know that she did the right thing. I personally think Shirley is listening to these calls. People are saying that she's not, but I'm just going from from everything that Shirley has shown me and how she's moved. She'll probably never admit it to anyone, but Shirley knows she's listening to these calls. I don't know if she's in any of the reactors chats. That'd be great if she was actually listening. Sorry, actually listening in on those. But I think she's listening to the phone calls. And if she's not, she needs to. She really needs to, because I know I would. I don't want to hear it from somebody else. I want to hear it from myself. And I may need to have a little drinky drink on the side as I listen to it. But if I ever get weak, the first thing I'm doing, I'm pulling up phone calls from prison. I'm hitting that play button and I'm listening to this ninja talk to this side hen, talk to this woman who has been spending my money, and I would be so. I mean, I probably would click it off halfway through because my blood pressure probably gets so high. But I would at least know. I would at least have some way to kind of check myself. So I guess we'll just see how this plays out. So hopefully tomorrow I will hit the go live button and continue along with the next set of videos because this is, like I said, is listening to it now, knowing kind of the story and listening to Shay kind of trying to help us get to that point. This is fun, and I want to give a shout out to all the reactors that react on this, from Grown Woman Vibes to Real Talk Bougie to Pam, to V. Lenore, to Lady T Bug, first and foremost, because she lets me come up and talk and she's given me the courage to come and actually press the live button. So shout out to Lady T Bug. Check her channel out. We do panels talking about this whole Nesto thingamajig. And I said what I said is always in the house. And we have some very interesting opinions and we have some very interesting talks. And I think you will enjoy it if you head on over there. But thank you for everyone who actually reacts on this content, because we've kind of dug in kind of deep. We've kind of talked about it. We've kind of mused about it. We've joked about it. We've given a life to the front porch, to the kitchen table, and it's a big conversation that's being had surrounding this whole saga, which I call the Nesto Chronicles. If you stumble, sorry, the Chernesto Chronicles. If you've stumbled on this live, just let you know I do have a playlist up where I do kind of run through the backstory of this. It's in short form, so the videos are not longer than a minute, so you can run through those. So check out my playlist. Also, make sure you head over to Phone Calls from Prison, because without Phone Calls from Prison, we would not have this content to react to. And like I said, this is just the beginning stages. It gets better if you're new to this. If you just again happen to stumble onto this video, just to let you know, this is a whole, I would call it almost like a sector, or at least for the moment. I don't know if it's a temporary sector, because this story seems like it's just taking on a life of its own. So a shout out to Phone Calls from Prison. They don't just have these calls up, they have calls up from other inmates The Murtaugh trial is very big. That's pretty much what set this all off. Again, they have quite a few calls from different people who are in lockup, and um, so go check out their channel. Most definitely, and at least for this saga, they're putting in work. They are snatching calls, they're finding calls, and they're bringing them to us. And we are a hungry crowd. So if you ever see a premiere of a video that has Ernest Williams in the title or hashtag Ernest Williams, head on over there and check it out. We have a good time over there. And also, there are some content creators I have shouted out. Make sure you check them out, okay? Because they are, again, they're taking this material and they're breaking it down and they're making it easy for us to understand. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure you please like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow around this time in the wee hours of the morning. And I call this Nesto at night, where we just kind of react to old videos. And like I plan on doing from here on out is doing them in order. So we've got through the first two calls that phone calls from prison has posted. So I will go ahead and end this vlog. And for everybody who has joined me, thank you very much for entertaining me for a little over an hour, about an hour and a half. And a shout out to my girl. I said what I said. She is the truth. She said what she said. And if you want to hear us talk about this topic in a different kind of format, make sure you head over to Lady T Bug's channel and join us. All right, now everybody have a good night. I think that I'm going to shut everything down. I do think I am getting a little tired. I feel a little tired. Maybe it's because I've kind of hyped myself up for this. So we'll see if I go to sleep or not. But hopefully you come back tomorrow night and join me and we'll go through the third video in this never ending saga. Good night.